All right, welcome back to our 28-day challenge, which doesn't technically start for another couple of days for everybody else, and I guess technically me. Um, but I am starting because I want to be reaching out to all of you, whoever that is joining me on this. And the beginning of this is always the hardest because, like right now, it's 8 o'clock at night. My battery is super low, um, and the lighting's even worse than yesterday. But I know if I don't record something now, it's going to be so easy to not record tomorrow and not record the day after. So this early momentum can be a little rough, but it is worth pushing through. And again, this is where we are embracing the void because it's not about who's listening. It's about us getting into that momentum, us producing, us creating, us digging deep, us learning skills, remembering how to do the tech. For me, obviously, I've got to figure out some better lighting, but that is just part of the beauty of this process. Now, if you listen to my space whale story yesterday and you're like, okay, I'm in, but then this morning you woke up and you're like, oh, and you're yeah butting yourself out of this, I'm going to try to help you with that. Number one, nobody's listening. And if you think, if you already have an audience and you're doing this with an audience, but you're kind of worried about the quality of work you're going to be putting out because of the speed, trying out new material, just share that with them. That can be your first post. Like, hey, I'm doing a 28-day challenge with the goal being building momentum, building speed, and not overly editing or judging myself. So, guess what? For the next 28 days, you're going to get stream of consciousness, less developed, but more potentially interesting stuff. Now, another yeah, but might be, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about for 28 days. And in that case, I'm going to give you some starters. Number one being, tell them what you're up to. Share your version of this challenge. Number two, your origin story. Really, everybody wants to know, why are you doing this? How did you get here? What led you to this? There's a reason that the About page is one of the second most visited pages on people's websites. People want to know about you, but not just your training or your expertise, but your journey. So share that. That is an important place for you to connect with the people that you are going to be helping. All right, number two, who do you want to be helping? Or what problems do you know that you can solve? That is a great topic to talk about. And that can be one day, that can be multiple days. There might be multiple versions of the problem that you solve. After that, your why. Why are you doing this? What is your drive? What are your values? What are you trying to achieve with this? And then what is their why? So that leads us to the next day. What is the transformation that your ideal client, your ideal who is looking for that you can deliver? And then finally, if you know, how do you do that? What are the tools that you use to achieve and help people achieve that transformation? So that's what I call my 5 critical questions. So we start with potentially just announcing that you're doing this crazy thing. So if you have an audience, you can kind of give them a heads up that things might look a little different for 28 days. But then after that, your origin story. How did you get here? What's your Superman tale? 2, who do you help? Or what problems do you solve? And who might fall into the category of people who has those problems? 3, who, what? So, what are the, who do you help? What problems do you solve? That can be one episode or 2. And then why? Why do you do it? Why do they want it? And then how? What are your tools? What are your techniques? What's your special sauce in that? How do you work differently? And that's a really good kickstart. And that's basically the first week of this. But again, remember, one of the pieces of this is the discovery. One of the benefits of doing this every day for 28 days is you discovering new ways to share your message, but also new aspects of your message and new aspects of who you are and how it connects with your message. So if, one day you wake up and think, hey, this is the day that I thought I would talk about how I work, what my kind of special twist on this is, but instead you want to talk about how the Super Bowl connects with what you're doing, or the James Webb Telescope findings, or I don't know, anything. Talk about that. That's the journey, part of the journey of this. That's part of the magic of the 28-day consistent productivity and publishing. All right, so enough time. You might be worried about knowing what to say. You might be worried about coming off as weird. Another common concern is, okay, I don't have the time to do this. Yes, you do. I am currently 6 minutes into this video, and I'm going to wrap it up in a minute. I thought about what to talk about while I was walking the dog earlier, so that was about 5 minutes of thought time while I was doing something I needed to do anyway. The goal here, remember, again, is, we want to dig deep in creativity, but it's really producing. Just commit to getting something out every single day. So 15 minutes, 20 minutes, it might be 10 minutes of your time, or you're kind of working and thinking about it while you're doing something else, and then quickly pick up your phone and churn something out. That's okay. That is still achieving the goal of this challenge. We will circle back around to tech and keywords and all of that stuff later, but that's not this 28 days purpose or goal. Which is why at 8 p.m. with a phone that is being iffy and not charging well, with really bad lighting, I am here talking to you. And I don't have a tripod either, which is why the phone keeps moving. But I knew that I needed to show up for me, I needed to show up for you, and I needed to start this process to figure out, enjoy the journey, and figure out what the destination ends up being. Any other concerns you guys have? Anything that you're thinking, like any yeah buts? What are your yeah buts? Because I've been there. I've probably had all of them, and I hopefully can reframe them for you and give you a little bit of push forward into this 28-day adventure. All right, guys, it's January 30th. Never mind, it's January 30th. Tomorrow's the 31st. This technically kicks off February 1st. If you want to go ahead and get going, awesome. If you need that 24 hours of, all right, I'm going to take a deep breath and do this, okay. Set up whatever account you need to set up, or wait, that's fine. But come on, let's have a really fun producing content February and just discover what we all discover and get to share it with each other in the end. All right, guys, good night. I will see you tomorrow.